I got into marine science because I loved the ocean. I was afraid of it, and I loved it, and I was intrigued with it at the same time as a young girl. And then when I got to about middle school, I realized I actually wanted to do something to save it. I thought there's a problem. The earth and the oceans in particular are in trouble. I want to do my part. And over time, I became a little bit more, I guess, realistic about how I could do that and what my role could be. And I realized that the best way I could do that was to help answer the questions, answer the unknowns through gathering evidence and contributing in that way to conservation. Josh and I met when I moved to Australia after undergraduate to do my tiny little part to save the ocean and do some research on the Great Barrier Reef. And he had, at about the same time, come back to Australia to do his PhD and do his part for saving the ocean and understanding how it works. We met, got to be fast friends, and then pretty quickly it became apparent that we were falling in love. Fast forward 15 or so years, and we made our way here to Hawaii to work in marine science and conservation.
There's a lot of plastic here. Hey.
Hi, thank you. Appreciate it. Here at the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology in my lab, we have a variety of different projects. One of the main ones that we are working on right now as a lab is looking at what we call grazing halos. What I mean by a halo, this is a patch reef right here, this dark brown bit. This kind of light blue contour is basically bare sand, and this greenish stuff here is benthic algae, so algae that grows on the sand. Small herbivores live in these patch reefs for shelter. The predators want to kind of eat them, so the small herbivores, the ones that eat plants, don't want to go very far. And they end up kind of creating this almost lawnmower-like effect around the reef where there's just no seaweed or seagrass left because it's been all eaten and they're too afraid to go much further than that. So we're using them as kind of a first cut, very broad brush look at how the reef might be doing. And we're hoping to develop this into a very low-cost, easily accessible tool that anyone, anywhere in the world could use on coral reefs.
This is a laser scanner. We use it in the lab for reverse engineering corals and other structures. We can very rapidly 3D scan a coral colony like this. It could be a live one because you can do it in about 2 minutes. So you can take them out of the water, do a quick scan, put it back in the water, and you can monitor them for growth. You can look at the different growth morphologies, which is really important for the reef. Morphology meaning just the shape that the coral grows in. You're seeing on the screen over here is the scan starting to generate, and I'm going to just slowly rotate here. We can take these 3D scans, the meshes, and we can then print them and then put them out, which are great for recruitment experiments, which means experiments where you can watch what is attracted to the actual corals. Okay, so this is our ceramic printer where we can create a whole range of different structures. There can be shapes and structures that we capture using the laser scanner or structure from motion on the reef, as we just did in the field, or it can just be simple geometric shapes. Here are some examples of just some reef that we got using structure from motion that we did out on the reef, the imagery that we were doing in the field, and you can cut out parts of it, capture the reef shapes and print them. Whereas we also can print simple geometric shapes to really get an understanding of what it is that things like coral larvae, coral babies like about shape in surfaces. You can see each of these circles here is a coral baby that has settled and calcified and is growing. Okay, so this is Spencer. And Spencer is very good at putting together 3D models of the reef, and he is going to show you some of these.
So these are three-dimensional models that we have of some of the coral reefs out here in Kaneohe Bay in Hawaii. And basically we took thousands of images and were able to put them in the software and stitch them all together. and we can be able to measure things like the health of the reef, if it's structurally complex, so it provides good habitats for fish and the coral babies to settle. And then we can also use these to be able to 3D print corals in a more natural form to represent what they actually look like. So when we artificially plant these reefs out in areas to restore them, it's in its most, natural way possible that we can.
Some of them really grew up a lot. Oh, but you can see this tile here.
Oh yeah, look at that one, the plating one.
Yeah, it's just, some just do really well.
It's amazing. Did they all start at the same size?
Yes, and
that's phenomenal.
So many unknowns. As we know, corals around the world are degrading, and there's a lot of interest now in trying to stop that or reverse that. As humanity, we might be slow to stop the warming, so we need to think about how to restore areas if we want thriving coral reefs to be around for our children. And so, yeah, a lot of the work that goes on here is trying to understand how to do that best.
By using these technologies, we can really get at the answers to questions. So that puts us one step closer to solving the conservation issues that we have. So hopefully all of the research that we do in my lab goes ultimately towards conservation solutions.
Don't do it.
Mommy had a mini breakdown about it.
About what? Kindergarten?
Missing Brooks.
Oh yeah. Mama didn't want Brooks to go to kindergarten. Oh, hey guys.
Hi.
Look, it's an incredibly complex time we're living through right now. There's no one person or one group that's going to solve the issues with ecosystem decline in the marine environment globally, but I do believe that scientific inquiry and evidence-based ways of thinking are going to help us live in harmony with nature so that we can continue to thrive on this planet.